Hello and welcome to the fourth part of the Opera tutorial. In this tutorial we will model the base, all the base structure. This tutorial was brought to you by Acrito. Okay, so let's begin. We will cover now the first part of the base. First thing that we need to do is we need to add an image with the plan so we can relate to it. So I'm just going to draw a plane and add a material to it. I'm going to choose a bitmap, and from my resource files I'll add a plane. Okay, make sure that it's visible in viewport and add a UVV map. Now hit bitmap fit and make sure that the image is fits the plane on the right scale. Now I'm just going to scale this image down until I have approximately it's on the right scale. Now I'm going to have to move it, scale it and rotate it a bit. Okay, I'm just going to position it as close as possible. I'm going to use as reference my the modeled already parts. Okay, I'll draw a line. I will use this line as a symmetry point for the image below. I want to make sure that the image is perfectly aligned on the middle of one of the structures. Okay, now I'm just going to position it. Okay, keep on moving it, scale it, rotate it, do whatever it takes until you have it on scale, on the right scale. Okay, I'll drag it a little lower. Now I can see everything. Now I can look and see how each of the outer shell sits on the plane. I'm going to add FFD to the outer shells, and I'm going to adjust now to adjust them so they fit exactly on the structure that is visible in the plane. I'll do this for each and every part of the outer shell. Just add an FFD modifier, an FFD 2x2x2. Okay, group. And now just add FFD 2x2x2. Go under sub selection and select the control points and scale them out a little bit. Now what I want to do, I want to correlate the position of the lower part of the outer structure to match the plane. Keep on adjusting each part. Okay, now I'll do this for each and every part. I want to do this first because later on it will be easier to just model the lower part, base structure. Okay, just scale them down a little bit. If you can see in the plane, there are some circles that show where the structure starts. Well, this is a very good image. I'm going to do the same for the first outer shell. Just add an FFD 2x2x2 modifier, and now you can easily just adjust the general position of the points. Of course, we will do the same when we'll adjust the height, so each of the outer shell will sit correctly on the base. Okay, I've browsed through some images. I'll make this a group so I can apply FFD to it also. Now I'll apply FFD 3x3x3 here because this shape is a little bit more complex, and I will need some new points to better control it. Okay, just keep adjusting the points. Now you will look as the reference. One of the references is the plane, and you can use, of course, other references, some images. You can find plenty of images on the net. Just hit Opera Sydney in Google and set it to images, and you'll have a lot of images to relate to. Okay. Well, I think this should pretty much work for now. Okay, let's create the base. I will start with the line. Now, as you can see, the plane is a little smaller. Now, what I want to do, I want to make the plane larger so I can clearly see all the image. Okay, this is better. Okay, so now let's just draw a line around the main base. Just click, click. Now, I will use chamfer here, so it's no problem. Okay, so now just draw around the main base. Here I will revert back. I will come back here and set the points to smooth or Bezier corner or Bezier or whatever it needs. Okay, keep on going with the line. Make it round. Okay, now it goes something like this until the end. Okay, and now I'll come back and make sure I'll close the spline. Okay. Okay, so now we have a line. Now what I want to do, I want to change the position of some vertices, maybe make some a different type of vertices. For instance, I will make this a Bezier corner. I'll just adjust its handles. Okay. Also, this one should be a Bezier corner. Okay, this one as well should be Bezier, and this one as well. Okay. Okay, so I think that point is a little bit too much. No, I think it's good, it's good. Okay. So, okay, now there's this problem. I will just use fillet on it to give it a round, make it round. Okay, so I think it pretty much looks good for now. Now, as you can see here, there's a stair. We'll take care of it later on. Okay, so now we have a basic. Okay, now I will add an edit poly modifier. And I'll cut the stair. I want to make this area. In this area, I want to create a stair that is probably used for boats or stuff like that. Okay, now cut it through, make sure it goes until the end. Okay, something like this. I will just convert it to an editable poly because it will be easier to work on. Okay, I'll align these vertices and just delete those. Okay. Now what I want to do is just shift and drag the top edges. Okay, so this is pretty much it. Now I have a rough shape for this. There are still plenty of things that we need to add. Okay, I've extruded this part. Just drag it way low. Okay, so there's a stair. What I want to do, I want to inset all this. I want to create a balustrade. create inset. As you can see, we will create a very small inset to be in the same size as the balustrade. Maybe something like this. Okay, now just extrude. Okay, so basically we have the balustrade now. Now there's still a problem here, because on the stair there shouldn't be a balustrade, it just should stop. Just select those and erase them. Now we should probably correct some of the parts here. Okay. I'm just moving on. Just extrude this. It's still not good. There's still some problems here. I'll take care of that. Okay, now it looks okay. Let's see how much should I extrude it. Not that much. Okay. Maybe something like this. Okay, so this is pretty much it. This is the rough base. Now I've duplicated the outer shells and I've positioned them to match the other part. Okay, so now I've also inserted a new plane, and this plane will help me to better understand what is really going on. You can find all those files in the resource folder. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing for the next base. Okay, just draw around it. As you can see, I have a pretty much good image. Okay, maybe this should go a little higher. Okay, back here, back again. Just try to follow the shape as closely as possible. You can erase the last vertex using backspace from your keyboard. Okay, at this point things aren't very well positioned. Don't worry about it, it's later. I've made the second shell see-through, so I can better view the lines underneath. The shortcut for see-through is Alt plus X on your keyboard. Not really sure how things are going to be here, but we're going to take care of that in a moment. Okay, I think it's something like this, not really sure. Okay, so this is pretty much it. Now I have the rough line. We should now adjust all the vertices, weld the new vertices together and adjust the curvature in the upper part. Okay, I've entered isolation mode, so I can easily relate to the image now. And I'll just adjust those tangents to match the curvature. Okay, something like this. To transform on the vertex type from one type to another, select it and use right click, then in the left upper quad menu, you can switch between corner, Bezier, Bezier smooth, and so on. Okay, so now this part, I think this shouldn't be like this. Probably should be something like this. Okay, so there's huge stairs, and underneath there's a parking spot. Okay, just convert it to an editable poly. Now what I want to do, I want to cut details everywhere that it requires. For instance, I will cut this stair, so this will be only one polygon. Okay, now I think I'm going to use this image from now on, as I can see better what's going on here. It's probably not well positioned. Okay, so now it's well positioned in both images. Okay, so now I have the stair cut. The shortcut to use cut is Alt plus C on your keyboard. Okay, so both ends of this stair should go to the same height. Okay, moving on. Now I'll cut this area right here in the middle. Okay, something like this. Just drag it a little lower and up to the other part. Okay, so this part will also go a little higher, but unfortunately I can't just lift this part, I have to detach it. Because there will be some supplementary planes that we'll use to create the stairs from. Okay, now look, I'll check the heights. Okay. I've dragged another copy of that plane because I want to use another image. I think this image will be great. No, not this one. This one. This one shows all the stairs. Okay, just make sure it shows in the viewport and use bitmap fit to align it to its proportion. Of course, I have to adjust the scale of this as well. And the rotation should be good enough, but just the scale of it. Okay, think it matches now. Just a little bit more to make sure that it perfectly fits. From this image I can see all the stairs. Now I want to make all the stairs, and to shape this base as close as possible to reality. Okay, so moving on. On this point I want to use an edge constraint. Moving on. Okay, just make sure that this is perfectly aligned. The image is perfectly aligned with the shape. Okay. I think it looks good about now. I want to make sure that the image perfectly fits the line at this point. Okay, so I can use it as a reference to see exactly how the stairs look. Now just use an edge constraint when moving those vertices and align them to the top of the stair. Okay, now only use the edge constraint when you want to constrain a vertex to an edge, but if you want to freely move the vertices, make sure that the constraint is set to none. Okay, now let's create the upper stairs. I'm just going to cut, make the first row of stairs, something like this. Okay, for the second row, I think it's something like this. Okay, maybe not like this. Okay, let's try again. Yeah, I think it should be something like this. Maybe with another vertex in the middle. Yeah, just going to use insert vertex and place one there and drag it down a little bit. Don't worry about that for now. And do the same for the right part. Just make sure that the lines are arranged to the lower part of the stair. Okay. I'm just going to detach those and inset them. Now what I want to do, I want to correct some parts of the insert, as I've only done this to create the rounded stair at the top. Okay, create some vertices at the top so you can target weld them. Of course you can't add, you have to cut first if you want to use target weld. Okay, use another cut there, and again a target weld. Okay, do this everywhere. Make sure you target weld everything. Okay, now moving on, next step of stairs. Okay, I'm going to use the same procedure here in the upper part of those stairs. Just draw a line from one part to the other, and then I'll just add another vertex in the middle and then just arrange them. In this case I used a snap set to middle edges. Okay, so I think we have a pretty much good shape for now. Now the next step will be to raise all those polygons so I can create the stairs. Now it will be a good idea for now to just isolate some of the parts. Okay, now it will be easier for me to just align this plane to the already created structure. Okay, I see there are some problems here. Just wanted to arrange those. Okay, the constraint was set to edge. Okay, something like this. And I will just move the vertices to align the height of the base plane. Okay, I think the first part should come a little lower. Okay, we'll take care of that. Just make sure that the plane goes all the way up like this. Okay. Now, just select those polygons and we will drag them up. For now I don't need anything else because I just want to split the shape and create the rough stairs. Afterwards it will be easier for me to adjust the height of them. But for now those two planes will be enough to work. I don't want anything else to bother me while I work on them. Okay, I've isolated, I've set the shells to see through, and now I can cut the other part of the stairs. Okay, and I'll do the same on the other side. Okay. Now don't worry about the topology of those elements, as anyway I'm just going to, they all will have different heights, so they will be split, so it won't be a problem as you might have expected. Okay, just make sure that you have all the stairs cut out from this plane. Okay, now just select all those planes, and I'm going to select only the first level. Okay, so all these planes will have to have the same height. Okay, and the upper parts too. Okay. Just hit detach. Okay, so now they are detached, they're not welded together anymore. You can easily just drag them up. Okay. Now I'm going to detach those stairs also. Just move the lower vertex and the lower edge. Okay, that one too. Just select those edges and move them down and use snap. Okay. Okay, now select the next set of polygons that we're going to detach and drag. Just use detach and just drag them up. Okay. New snap. Okay, so now we have set the lower part of the stair also here. Okay, just select those vertices and drag them a little lower. You really have to be quite familiarized with the building when you start modeling. I think this is one of the most important things, just to understand the building at first, to understand all the shapes and how everything works. Okay. Now continue doing this, just arrange, cut the planes, the plane, and just arrange the height of each part, each polygon. Of course, the shells will be modified a little bit. We'll use an FFD modifier on them, as they're probably not perfect the way we've initially created them, but this won't be a problem. Now I just want to have a clear height, and it will be easier to work from that point on. Okay, just keep on doing this. This is probably one of the most boring parts, as there are a lot of small details and a lot of stairs and a lot of things that are quite hard to understand. But once you understand how this looks like, it will be easier for you to do this. It took a lot of time to understand how the base really was really created. I had a lot of resource images, including images from the time when the building was built. Okay, now just arrange this part, make sure it's exactly on the lower base. Now I'm going to cut the rest of the stairs. As you see, there are a lot of stairs. And this here, it will replace the restaurant exactly on those stairs. I'll just create a cut the entire run. and just remove these. Use backspace on your keyboard to remove an edge. Just detach it. Okay, now drag the upper edge and make sure it's welded on the upper plane. Now I'll do the same for this part. Just going to need to detach it. Detached as an element, as you can see. Okay, now let's take care of this part. I'm just going to use the detach and drag it up a little bit, then lower this edge, and we'll place it in a side view. Just drag this up a little bit so it goes past the stair. Now, okay, this is pretty much good. Just use shift and drag, position them and align them. Okay. Now, no need to close all these down. I'm going to use shift and drag all over. Just use create here. I'm going to use another create here. Okay, now it should go on the other side. The polygon is flipped. It's still flipped. I have to draw it the other way around. No, still not good. Perimeter edges. Oops. Still I forgot to create the stairs in this part. I'll name these selection sets selection 1, so I don't lose everything that I've done. Just move this up, this down, and I think this is pretty much good. Okay, now let's revert to selection 1. Just continue from here. Okay, I won't be needing these. Just shift and drag them down and use make planar by Z. Okay, now arrange the height. Okay, so I think we're good for now. Okay, checking the resources again. Now this will have to have some sort of, will have to be like a slab, so I don't have to just drag them all the way down, just a little bit. This I think is the parking area right here, and the same thing goes for this part. Okay, just align them here. Okay. Bridge those two again, and still these vertices need to be aligned. Okay, and this I think should be just closed stairs and not just simple. Now I just need to close everything down to make sure it's not just a thin cap, but I want this to be solid. Just drag them using shift and drag. Okay, something like this. Now at this point I want to arrange all the outer shelves with the base plate. I want to make sure that everything sits correctly on the base. I need this plane. I need to create this exterior part as well. This is where the stairs, the exterior stairs will be placed. I'm going to use snap on those vertices, and I will snap here. Never mind that, just fix it. Okay. Now, I want to make sure that all the vertices are in the same plane. This is very important. And they sit here. Okay, just correct the corners, make them Bezier corner, and just arrange the Bezier so the handles so they match the curvature as close as possible. Okay, something like this. And just convert it to an editable poly and extrude. Okay, there we have it. Now I need to make another cut here, so I can make the stair. Q2. Okay. Now I only need to set these. Okay, just drag them up a little bit. I don't know how much at this moment, but it will be soon visible. Okay, I've dragged all the border down using shift and drag, arrange them to Z and just drag it up. Okay, this I think it goes a little up. Okay, I think I'm going to create the next part using an double spline again. Yeah, it will be easier, I guess. Let's it's really hard to work like this because I don't really see anything, but I have a rough image of what's going on, so I just can draw it and I will arrange it later. Now this is the next stair. Just arrange the handles. Something like this, maybe. Okay. Just drag it out, drag it down a little bit. Convert it into a poly. Use a cut to create a stair. One cut here. And just drag this up a little bit. Just drag the border down, scale it, and then drag it back up. Okay, at this point it will be easier for me to just arrange the Okay, now we'll just do the process again for this part. It's exactly the same process. Just cut, create a stair. Now this part doesn't have the second stair running, so it will only be this. Shift and drag the border, scale it down on the z-axis, then bring it back up. Okay. Now maybe some edges here. I'm just going to extrude this a little bit. Not much, just like. Okay. And now I'll just launch those vertices. Apply material. It doesn't matter at this point what material, just some material. Okay. I'm just going to attach all these so they belong to the same editable group. and use an auto smooth. Okay, things start looking good. So a couple of things to do here. I'm just going to create the balustrade. I'm going to need to select all those edges. I will duplicate those edges as a line and just extrude that line and add it a shell modifier. So this is the balustrade again. Okay. Just make sure you select everything. And make sure you don't have any unnecessary edges selected. Okay, I think we're good for now. Okay, now just hit create shape from selection. And choose linear and OK. Now I'm going to select the shape. As you can see, this is the shape. And just add an extrude modifier. I'll give it a mount. Not too much. I think it's all like this, and add a shell modifier to give it a thickness. Make sure it's only on the inner mount and not on the outer mount. I'm just going to make a copy of this. I want to make the handrail, and I will remove the shell and extrude modifier, just make the line have a thickness, enable it in render in viewport, and give it a thickness of, I don't know, 8 centimeters. And add another material, of course, a more darkish material. Maybe it should be a little thicker. I'm going to make a copy of this. Now we'll just overlap. Okay. I'll convert this to an editable polygon and attach everything to it. Now just need the exterior part. I'm just going to select all those polygons from the exterior, as I want to make them separate from the rest, because I will use a different material on these ones. Everything that's on the outside should be selected. Make sure that you don't select too many polygons or unnecessary polygons. Okay. Just going to detach this, but not as an element, as a different object. Just add all these vertices. Okay, now I'm just going to use an extrude on everything. Just with a small amount. And use the local normal extrusion. Add another material, different material to this. Okay, and I think we're good. Okay, so this was the part that we created the base structure. Still some things that need to be changed. I'm going to use an FFD modifier on each of the shells and make sure that they're in their correct position. In the next tutorial we will discuss about how to model the rest of the details, and that's all the windows and all the glass structures from the outer shells and all the glass details. We will place them in the next tutorial. But at this point I just want to make sure that every shell sits correctly relative to the base. Now, as you can see, I've used different FFD modifiers on different shells. I used an FFD 2x2 on small ones, and on this big one it's a 3x3. Okay, so please join me in the next tutorial. See you there.